I got 5 news stories.
All right, welcome everybody. This is Marvel Madness Comics Podcast, episode number 42. I am Brandon, as always, joined by my man Trevitt. Trevitt, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just
Nice, same here. Yep,
putzing
it's
around with
Taco
the phone.
Monday in my house. We had it a day early.
Taco
Broke the
Monday!
trend. But yeah,
That
we're
sounds like
here
a
to
good
talk.
day.
Yeah, it's so easy to make and they're so good. It's hard not to do it at least once a week. But we're here to talk a little comics, not taco reviews. And just like we do every week, we're going to go through how we do things. We got our mission statement. We got tell you the books we're going to cover up this week. We got to go over ways you can get a hold of us. I think we got an email this week, actually. We got some
Yes, we
news
did.
items, and then we get to our books, our midpoint facts, and those things out for you guys. So we got a 4-book lineup for you tonight. So we're here this and every week to fulfill our mission of providing you the ins and outs of the Marvel comic book universe. In between talking books, we're going to chit chat a little bit about some of Marvel's latest news, rumors, characters, fun facts, and all that falls under the general going ons of Earth Prime's umbrella. We try to cover a variety of titles for you guys each month in an effort to avoid any repetitiveness and an attempt to keep things fresh and informative for you guys, our listeners. This week will feature a 4-book lineup, like I said earlier, and we're going to share our thoughts about the following titles for you guys. We got a change of pace here. I think I originally said Venom, but that was part of the Venom X crossover, so I opted out of that and went with, I don't know, the book you could pawn on eBay for $20 currently right now, and that's Amazon. Amazon. Amazing.
I saw that.
Spider-Man 796. Yeah.
Everybody was saying
I
it
don't
was
know. It
sold
must
out of
be.
their store.
Yeah, but it must be all
Just
the
Mary.
Mary Jane stuff. I don't know
That's what I was
what
thinking.
other, and like the Goblin stuff going on. Really, like a first look at it.
First appearance of the Red
Other
Goblin
than
and
that,
Mary
I
Jane
don't
showing
really
up.
know what it's like. The Loki issue before it, you could sell that one for a nice chunk too. So my guess would be it's the Norman Osborn kind of hype of the change going on there, and we'll get into all that when we talk about that issue first tonight, and then Trevitt's pick of Astonishing X-Men number 8. We're going to discuss that book before we take our break for the facts, and then get into Infinity Countdown Prime, and then a quick Avengers roundup. We got 3 issues to briefly discuss, and 2 of them basically involving origin stories. So we're going to get into all that. And you know how we do things, guys. If you're familiar with us and you've listened, and I know there's got to be a few new people out there, because number 40 got a bunch of downloads for that we don't usually get. So shout out to those people that are new. And how we do things is we tell you to buy it, borrow it, or forget it altogether. Buy it means basically go buy the comic book or digital copy now. Borrow means if somebody you know bought a hard copy, try to get weasel that digital code out of their hands, or borrow the issue if they've given it away to somebody already. Forget it altogether means you don't got to drop a dime on a book. There's probably really not much of importance that happened, and it was pretty much utterly a ridiculous comic you can ignore. So that's how we tell you and judge things. Entirely made up scale how we do it, but that works for us. And if you are looking to get a hold of us, tell us, whatever you want to tell us. You got any suggestions for books you want to hear? Maybe we've skipped over too many months in a row for your liking. Let us know. There's 2 ways to do that. We got the Marvel Twitter, Marvel Madness Twitter account at Madness Marvel 1. Our DMs are open, so you can hit us up there. We retweet new comic book day polls. I've been slacking a little bit on sharing some codes. I will get back to that. But all my comics and stuff are kind of in just a giant section of the basement right now. Not as easy to get to, so I'm in the process of working that out with the girl. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep everyone posted. But we got another way to get a hold of us. That's Gmail, and that is at marvelmadness0@gmail.com. And Trevitt informed me earlier this week that we got an email, so he's going to take it away. He's going to let us know what that says. good or bad, no holding back. What do you got for us?
All right. So this email, as just like the past couple of emails we had, is from Sean Romero. And he says, "Hey, Brandon and Trevor, how's it going, you guys? How's it going for you guys? It's going pretty good."
Yeah.
He says, "I have a question. Since Marvel announced the 4 different miniseries events for Wolverine, which one of them do you think I would really need to get, or do you think all of them are necessary? I just feel like it will be a lot of money spent just to see Wolverine return. Also, will you guys be reviewing the last Iceman issue? Maybe, if you want me to." And he put an LOL after that. "Please don't. I am kidding. We don't need that in our daily lives. We'll keep up the great work and have a great week later."
Yeah, we did one
Right.
Iceman. I think we did one Iceman issue. So if anybody wants to know our thoughts on the Iceman series, you can go back and hunt that one down.
I'll just say briefly that in the beginning it sucked really, really bad. It's gotten better, but not better enough for me to tell anybody to read it.
Yeah.
It's so that's all.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on Iceman.
Yeah, there must be a market for it. It's just not me. That's what I'm
There's
gonna
gotta
say.
be. Gotta be. Because the letter section in that book is just chock full. It gets like 2 pages in the letter section, and it's mostly young gay kids saying how like the book really inspires them and whatnot. So that's cool. As far as the Wolverine miniseries, I have a bit about that in the news, but I mean, I would say the Charles Soule one would probably be the best one to read, and the Tom Taylor one. Those two, I think, the Adamantium Agenda and Weapon Lost are probably the best, and probably
who's that
going to be
chick on the cover with? Is that Misty Knight?
on the Adamantium Agenda.
No, on Weapon Lost. It's got Daredevil. It's got like a target on Wolverine, and then there's some chick in the bottom left corner.
That's Misty Knight. That's,
okay,
Daredevil and Misty Knight. So.
I'm just looking. I think the one I'd be partial to, just based on looking at covers and characters in each series, is probably Adamantium Agenda. Is the one I'm leaning towards following. I mean, I like Tom Taylor the best out of all the writers. And I think I just have like, I don't know, a hunch like that'll be the most important, but I think they're going to trickle enough in each of them. Like you'd probably get something out of each series you follow, but I don't necessarily think, all of them would be a must buy. And if they are, you can always go back and buy it, in trade, because it'll probably be jumped up hopefully in one giant trade somewhere down the line.
Weapon Lost, the solicit says that Daredevil is assembling a squad of detectives to track down Wolverine. So that seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad.
And then, an Adamantium Agenda. I'm curious about Mystery and Madripoor, which is the one with Psylocke, Storm, Rogue, and Domino on the cover, because I like Jim Zub and Chris Pacelli.
About the one that's in Wolverine's life.
Yeah, the one that I'm least excited about is Claws of a Killer, which is the horror story.
Yeah.
But who knows? It could surprise me. Like the one that I'm going to read them all. So
I like the
cast
I'll
let everyone know.
like Lady Deathstrike, Sabretooth, and Daken.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike have been in a book forever with Old Man Logan anyway. And I haven't really loved that book, so I'm not like, that one's not nudging me as important right now either.
I like that book, but it looks like it's going like the solicit for the next issue is that Logan and Sabretooth are gonna have like a big blowout fight.
Old Man Logan.
Yeah. No, for Weapon X.
Okay.
We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, so I guess that's my answer. I'm just edging. I don't have any other, reasons for it other than just a hunch that Adamantium Agenda is the one calling my name that I'll follow and hope that that's the important one. That's what I'm rolling with. I don't have any inside info. We don't talk to any writers or anything, so we don't really know other than what news trickles out. And like I said, I've been my comic book news has been lacking lately because I've stopped going to Bleeding Cool because the arguments aren't any fun to read anymore at the bottom of the articles because they're non-existent. So, but so my comic news has really been like anything Trevitt tells me, I take as gospel and I move on with it. So
I've been still checking them out. I feel like they've been like worse with. I mean, they were always bad at editing, but they've been worse with editing since the
Yeah, now
comics
that
got
they
taken
can't be
away.
called out. I think that's the main
Yeah,
reason they did it. Everyone would tell them they suck at writing.
probably. And
I'm
they've
not the
been
best when I do reviews at structuring sentences either. Like I slip up, but I'm not fucking getting paid for it, off
no,
page views. So
exactly, and they've been major dicks
yeah,
since they've taken the
yeah,
comments
they're
away.
they're a
So,
bunch of wankers, as they would say in Great
uh,
Britain. But yeah, I think that's the only email. So thank you, Sean. Keep writing in whenever the mood strikes you. We appreciate it. Anyone else out there, don't be afraid. And that's going to send us off to Trevitt again in the news section after this quick little break. Oop, I don't want to clap too loud today. Everyone's sleeping upstairs. All right, here we go. All right, we are back with the news, and Trevor's going to take it away. He's got some items to discuss this week.
a fuck ton of items to discuss this week. So, a bunch of stuff that dropped today. I changed all the news around. So it was announced today that Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man, will be getting a new miniseries this July, written by Matthew Rosenberg with art by Andy McDonald, who you may be familiar with if you've read Earth 1 Teen Titans Volume 2 and the current Justice League of America series. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, didn't Madrox die in Death of X? Rosenberg had this to say. Yeah, Jamie is very dead. He was killed by the Terrigen Mists, and all of his dupes died with him. But our book starts off with someone finding Jamie not dead, but he is not long for this world. So the mystery of why he isn't dead and how to save him is a big driving force of the story. He continues to say, if I were smarter, I'd probably say some nonsense about how this was all about the duality of man and the Jungian archetypes that exist within us, how they are often oppositional, and how the ideas of who we are existed before us and continue beyond us. Maybe the book is about what we leave behind in the world for the people who don't, whatever, I fucked up on that, and how that story is never a complete picture. But honestly, I just like Jamie Madrox and a lot, and raised my hand at a meeting at the Marvel office and said, what if he isn't dead? And then they asked me to make up how that would work. And so here we are. Dude's not dead. I'm really excited for this. I'm a big fan of Peter David's Madrox miniseries and his X Factor run. It's some of my favorite comics ever. When I heard this, I went nuts today. I've been dying for a Madrox book for a long time. I didn't think it would happen. I thought they would do an X Factor book before they would do a Multiple Man miniseries, but I guess I was wrong, and I'm fucking souped that I was hyped that I was wrong, because now I'm getting a fucking Multiple Man miniseries. So 5 issues.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I don't
5
have
issues.
strong feelings about Multiple Man either way. So, but I'll probably end up reading 1 or 2 of them with you here on this. Other than that, I know he's like there was another podcast I used to listen to. It's not on anymore, but they were both huge Madrox fans. I never really understood it. He wasn't one of my favorite X-Men when I was a kid, but
did you read? Have you ever read X Factor or Madrox? Because that's why
I never read Madrox. I've read some of X Factor, but yeah, I don't know. He just was never one of the characters that grabbed me. But I know he's a fan favorite of a lot of people.
Oh yeah, Madrox was a big setup for the X Factor run. It was really good, really good. One of my favorite miniseries probably ever. So next up, somebody else is getting a limited series. It was also announced today. It was a really good day today for announcements. So it was announced today that we'll be getting a Cosmic Ghost Rider limited series this summer. If you love that crazy ass far-flung future Frank Castle Cosmic Ghost Rider from the Thanos series by Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw, and I definitely do, then you're in luck come this summer. Donny Cates is writing the series, but at this time no artist has been announced, but we did get a sweet cover from Mike Diodato. I'm glad this character caught on enough for Marvel to feel confident in the limited series. I'm also glad that Donny Cates had a strong enough pitch for them to let him do this series,
Yeah.
So this should be really fun. A limited series, I don't know what that means. It should be interesting. It could be 5
I
issues
think
could be
it's just
6 issues,
a
could be
fancy
8.
way of saying mini without like, because usually mini stands for 6. I don't know if they'll give it 6 or
Yeah,
just
and
it'll
sometimes
be shorter or longer. I think that's just what it means.
yeah. So when they say miniseries, it's usually 5 or 6. When they say maxi, it's usually 12. And when they say limited series, it means it could go for like 12 issues. It could go for 8 issues. They
Yeah.
just, I'm sure we'll get more information as time goes on.
I think it's not going
Um,
to go for multiple arcs. Like he'll tell a story, however many
and
issues that
that's it.
story takes is how
Yeah.
many it takes. Yeah.
And we're gonna get his origin this coming issue of Thanos this week. So that's what that's all about. So that'll be nice. A nice little tie-in for the news story. Next up is something I should have reported last week, but it I don't know, it kind of just fucking slipped my mind. Good news for fans of Jonathan Hickman's Shield run coming in May. Issues 5 and 6 are in the can and finally going to see the light of day since 2000 fucking 11, I think.
Yeah, I don't even know.
On top of 5 and 6, Marvel will be releasing a new one-shot called The Resurrection, collecting issues 1 to 4. I would also suggest catching up on the 6 issues before, because the Shield run kind of goes in 2 volumes. It was a 6-issue run, and then for some reason they decided to renumber it, and then it continues for another 6-issue run that only went 4 issues and never got finished. So if you want the full feel, go back and read that. I mean, there's a trade, but I think it's crazy that like 6-7 years later, these 2 fucking issues are
I know. I was gonna say they should release the old issues as like, the dollar classic thing they do with some of the issues. But yeah, it sounds like they got something in the can. I just hope it's not like $20 for those 4 issues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the one shot.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just like $8 or something for the 4 issues.
Or even like
because
5. Like 5 would be fine, but they should each be like $1, like the classic issues.
Yeah.
It's 5 years old.
I think the thing about it is like, for the people who haven't read it, we got this one shot for you, and then you can buy the 2 issues. But for the people who have read it, unless you're a
Here's
crazy
a reminder,
collector,
you
but
gotta dig out your old books,
I personally have never read his Shield. I've read everything he's ever done, but I've never read his Shield series because I knew it was never completed. So I was like, why am I going to start something that's not completed? So I've been waiting this whole time for these, because I heard he says that they were coming, and nobody ever knows to believe him or not, but he said they were coming, and here they are. So because the premise sounds fucking badass. I'm not even going to get into it, but it's fucking insane and sounds really awesome. I got a quote from Hickman, which is kind of funny. He goes, "Well, it's true. This doesn't have anything to do with the Limburg baby, but without a doubt, the real crime of the century is how long we've been sitting on this amazing Dustin Weaver art. Someone should definitely go to jail, which I'm cool with as long as it's not me."
Yeah, I don't understand if the art was done, like what, the story wasn't done, or what was the problem with releasing it? That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because sometimes the way that the way they work is they'll come up with their story idea, and then the artist will do the art, and then the writer will come in and do the dialogue.
Yeah, usually the Marvel way or whatever they call it,
Hickman likes to take his sweet, sweet time being a fucking crazy projectionist, and then puts things on the back burner because he just does things when he wants to do
he's been
things.
working on creator-owned things forever.
Yeah. For what? And he takes a while to do those too. Sometimes there are like ridiculous breaks in between issues. Weaver had a quote too. It says, "Shield's long hiatus, like the feeling of unfinished business, has been a nagging presence in the back of my mind. Finally having out into the world would be very gratifying. I'm proud of it and excited to finally share the last issues. Having it out will also be a relief. I think now my spirit can go into the light and I won't have to keep haunting Jonathan Hickman," which means he's probably been like, "Dude, you gonna write this shit so we can get these things out to the world?" It's only been 6 years, motherfucker.
Yeah, he doesn't have an OCD like I do. I gotta finish things when I start them usually, but especially if it'd be like a story, that would bug me as a person that the end's not out there.
I know, and it's I flipped through them, and Dustin Weaver is one of the best artists. The art is just incredibly detailed and fucking gorgeous. I
wonder if Collison's gonna be in it because he's dead.
Well, actually, this Shield story takes place like way back.
Yeah, it would be like in the past. I just wonder if he was in that book or not. I don't know.
I don't think so, because it has a lot to do with like historical figures and like the organization in Original Sin, like the Man on the Wall and all that shit. It's pretty crazy. But coming up next today, again, another announcement. Marvel will be launching a new Thor series, technically new, after the death of Mighty Thor concludes in April and Mighty Thor at the Gates of Valhalla in May. Jason Aaron, joined by his Weird World partner Mike Del Mundo on art, will kickstart a new series simply titled Thor, with a brand new number 1 with a 707 next to the number 1, so it's technically not a number 1. This June 13th. This is a continuation of Jason Aaron's long Thor epic, as the War of Realms will still be a big theme with Malekith up to no good. But the landscape of Thor's universe is very different now, and Aaron says they will be heading in a different direction. In this new story arc, Thor will be tracking down various Asgardian artifacts that have been scattered across Earth, with longtime X-Men villain Juggernaut also looking to utilize those same artifacts. Sounds pretty crazy. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'll miss Jane Foster and all, but I'm glad to have Odinson back worthy and with a hammer. So
yeah, that'll be cool.
Like, I'm not a big fan of Del Mundo, but the Weird World book, like, it works very well for fantasy, his style. So, you know, I think it might be okay for Thor. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I hope he brings his A game to this book. Like, just really goes all out in detail, like he did for Weird World, and then I'll be able to swallow it. When he does like Avengers books, but Thor might be good. Last but not least, it's got some stuff in the solicitation. So, fucking finally, we will be continuing the story from Marvel Legacy #1 with Jason Aaron's Avengers run starting this May with Ed McGuinness on art. I hear it will be a double ship for at least the first 6 months or so, and then slip into a monthly release schedule like so many books have over the past couple of months. The team this time around is pretty badass, with Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Savage She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, and Robbie Ray as Ghost Rider, and they will be taking on the final host. I like that it's Savage She-Hulk, because in her series right now, when she turns into the Hulk, she just, like we saw in Mighty Thor 700, she just cannot control herself, and she's just like a raging animal. So that's a pretty good team. I'm excited for this. We've been talking about it for fucking ever, and we're finally going to continue the story from Marvel Legacy. So
yep, it's coming out in the books slowly but surely here.
Yes. I got another one right here that's going to continue a story from Legacy. Also, this May, we're finally getting this Space Panther, Space Wakanda story that was teased in Marvel Legacy #1, Black Panther #1/173, with Ta-Nehisi Coates staying on as writer, but with Daniel Acuna taking over art from Leonard Kirk, which I'm super fucking excited about, because he did that page in Legacy of Space Wakanda. So someone brought up a point that just slipped my mind, or I didn't even think of it, that like at the end of Secret Wars, Black Panther used the time stone to go back in time to like before the incursions happened, and because, you know, the universe changed, the incursions weren't happening. They sent like him and some scientists sent a rocket out into space, and that's why the Space Wakanda thing exists. I don't know. I saw it on fucking Reddit. I thought maybe someone saw a hint that I didn't know about. But anyway, 2 more things and that's it. It gets better and better. We also get another creative team change on a book. Donnie Cates will be taking over Venom with Ryan Stegman on art. How fucking awesome is that? That's all I got there. That's in May. And then last but not least, a little information about the over fucking kill that is the Hunt for Wolverine mini series. So I thought just maybe, right? I thought just maybe it would be a good idea to release 1 weekly series a month. You know, like Adamantium Agenda #1 comes out the first week of like May, and then #2 the second week, #3 the third week, #4. But no, that's not what's going to happen. Instead of doing that, Marvel is releasing a #1 from each series each week in the month. So May, #1 from each miniseries comes out every week, and then in June, in June #2, and then #3 in July from every single series, so on and so forth. And that's how they're going to do it, which is kind of fucking ridiculous, right? Like, you get all the #1s from all the stories. Yeah, it's going to take, oh God, I guess, no one's gonna buy all of them. That's all that says to me right there. Because if it was like one story a month, maybe people would have collected all of them. But if it's all 4 of them in a month, people might stop and think about it for a second and be like, I'll just wait next month for the story to continue and just fuck the rest. But that's it for the news. It was a pretty big week this week. I had a few more things, but I'm just gonna keep them in my pocket for next week or whenever it's slow. So that's it.
Sounds like a good idea. And we're going to go off to the book section number 1, where we got the A category, I guess, Amazing X-Men or Astonishing X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man, with Spider-Man up to bat first. So we will be right back.
Spider-Man.
Whoop,
I had a note for Avengers, but I can't.